You are watching Omnis Protocol. I am Charles, also known as Omnis, and I am here with Jamie, aka the Seraphim. Welcome to Omnis Protocol, the show.
Hi!
That was not nearly as badass as I expected from you, Sriracha.
No, it's a video and I'm wearing a pink shirt, so you get a hi!
Especially with our hot takes episode today. Jamie and I are gonna be, this is like an impromptu, we just have to talk about Thanos, right? The Thanos card dropped. It's crazy. There's so much to absorb. So like my brain, trying to like actually do real work today was so difficult. I'm just like, Thanos. Man, so...
Yeah. Thanos in this roster, Thanos in this mission, Thanos doing this, Thanos doing that. Like, it's totally... I've been Thanos brain all day today as well. Exactly.
So, I don't know. So, just first off, before we start diving into the card details, what was your first, like, initial impression? Like, what's your first, like, Thanos hits you? What are you thinking?
I did not expect him to be a playmaker. Honestly.
Right? Dude, he's a genius. Like, he's a tactical genius.
Exactly. He's also like a badass, I will beat you down because you're in my way character in the comics. So I love the fact that they went with the tactical genius playmaker Thanos as opposed to I'm just going to go ham and beat everything to pulp Thanos. Yeah. So I was expecting beat everything to a pulp, and the fact that AMG flipped the script on me was absolutely amazing and completely threw me for a loop.
I mean, it was really necessary. I think for what you wanted out of Thanos, it would be hard for him to just be just like an like a Killmonger style character, right? That's just like, I just punch you to death. But man, I immediately hit, I'm like, oh my God, Thanos is here. And now I have to start thinking about this. This is what he does. Like, there's been so many questions over the months. Like, from the moment we heard about Marvel Crisis Protocol, right? We were all like, Thanos is coming, right?
Yeah.
You know, we knew there would be an ultimate encounter. We knew that there would be a Thanos character, and it was just like, when does that get here? Now it's here. And I will say, like, as I'm trying to like absorb this information, I feel like Thanos is the most influential character in Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yep.
Like, just the single...
No,
like,
I couldn't deny that.
The effect that this character is going to have on just, like, the meta as a whole is really interesting and pretty significant. So, well, let's dive into the details of this card, right? So, we've got Thanos the Mad Titan. Let's just start with threat level, right? So, threat level 6. Is this about what you were expecting?
Yes. Yep. Yep, I absolutely expected him to be about Hulk, maybe 4, if they decided to, like, skimp out some stuff, but definitely, like, it's Thanos. He's going to be one of the most expensive characters in the game. Like, that has to be the way it is.
Yeah, I mean...
And so that's a 6-threat base, too.
Yeah, so there was a part of me that was, like, hoping for, like, 5-threat, just for, like, character balance and that sort of thing, and like, oh, we're gonna do gems on him, like, it's okay, he doesn't have to, like, I was thinking initially maybe it'd be okay if he was like a MODOK level base with access to gems, and then when the like from panel to play came out and they were like, spoiled, he's gonna get to use infinity gems powers for free.
Oh God.
I was like, oh, is he gonna be 7 or 8? Like, what? Like, what? This is happening. Okay. But he hit and he's 6. I'm like, okay, 6. This is just Hulk level, right? We just need a character that is going to perform roughly on a Hulk level, and he needs to be above Thor and MODOK. I'm like, okay, that's not that hard, right? They didn't create some like crazy difficult thing for them. I'm like, okay, so 6 threat, we're okay.
Yeah.
He is size 3, not size 4. There was some question. He's on the 50mm base, the same as like Ultron and Doc Ock and Hela. But he's size 3, and there was a part of me that was like, is he going to be size 4? Because that means Ultron can drop him off, right? Like,
oh my God, I've been thinking about that all day. What can I do with that? Oh my God.
And I mean, I'm not sure this is the most optimal thing to do, right? But there is definitely a part of me that's like, if you're not prepared to play Red Skull, Ultron, Thanos plus a gem at 15 threat, your opponent is going to be able to, and you're going to see it. So you got to think about it.
Oh, I definitely already thought about that squad and what I would do with that squad and the type of missions that I would play that squad into. 100%.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
is. It is very sweet for sure.
I mean, I don't even hate the idea of Red Skull, Ultron, Zemo, Thanos, no gem at 17.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I'm not opposed to that either. I mean, I think I really like him with one gem, but he's still solid at 6. So maybe we
Yep.
should dive.
Yep.
Well, so first off, Watchers, the OP squad. We're not even going to touch the leadership yet. Like we're just talking about Thanos as he would be in Avengers or Cabal or Wakanda or Asgard or Guardians. We're just Thanosing it right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanosing it up.
Okay, so we've got a character who's got 8 stamina on the healthy side and 9 on the injured. So that's big, right? That's outside of Hulk. That's the
17
most.
threat.
That's yeah,
17 health.
stamina, right? It's 17 threat. It's what it feels like, right? And solid defensive stats, right? We've got 3-3-4.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can talk about these stats without talking about being of immeasurable power. So this is, at first glance, you're like, he's got invulnerability. No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
He just straight reduces damage from enemy effects by 1. So that means if you throw Thanos into something else, Thanos does not take damage. That is an enemy effect. He does not take damage.
You do 1 point of damage. Does not do damage. Sure, does not do damage.
Does not take 1 damage from explosive. Like, he does not. There is a lot of situations where that 1 damage is going to do nothing. So, now, obviously, your own characters can still beam over him and deal him 1 point of damage. The friendly isn't going to go through that. And he can still take bleed damage. It's not like that makes him immune to bleed.
Right, and he still takes damage from missions as well.
Yeah, he would still take damage from cubes. Like, he would still take damage from gamma wave, from being outside the shizzle. So, but when we got 17 total stamina and straight 1 damage reduction all the time.
Yeah,
that's crazy in itself. It is gonna be so much work to take this guy down. My initial thought is, I just don't think it's feasible for the average team to be putting attacks into Thanos. Right? That's my initial thought. I don't know if that's going to turn out to be true. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, so my initial thought when I saw his defensive line is, as a lot of people have heard, I'm a big Killmonger fan now. I jumped onto the sub train. So my initial thought is, can I usurp Thanos if I see Thanos?
You can? I don't know.
With Wakanda Forever and 2 additional attacks, is it actually possible to do? I don't think it is.
And not reliably, at the very least.
Yeah, and this is just him base. We haven't even got into gems, but him base, you would probably need to add a second character doing 2 additional attacks in order to guarantee a daze on Thanos in order to get that usurp out. So that becomes the next question is, if I'm building my squad and I know my opponent has Thanos, am I just leaving Killmonger out? Like, that's where my mind's been running. Like, as a Cabal player where I'm going for that aggressive strategy, how badly does he fuck me?
Well, to be fair, at least it sets you up for, if you have a SERP, he's got to respect it a little bit, right? Because it only takes a couple points of damage before you hit that range.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe that's a thing. But my initial thought is, I want to push Thanos away as much as possible. Like, get Thanos away from me. Bye! Just go, 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 go!
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the rest of being of immeasurable power. So, he can have 2 gems. He can have 2 gems.
Yes!
Okay, and he gets to use the superpowers on those gems for free.
Yep.
So that seems real good, right? Like, I've heard some people say you always want 2 gems on him. And I've heard other people say, I'm perfectly happy playing him, no gems. What's your initial take? Yes, gems, no gems? Man. Any or all of the above? What are we doing?
It's 100%. It's got to be a mix because even the two cheapest gems, if you're adding 2 gems, he's 8 threat. If you add the 2 most expensive gems, he's now 10 threat. So it's really is the value that you're getting from the gems going to be worth essentially another character? Is what you've got to look at it. Is adding those gems going to do the work that another character is going to do? And that's going to be the big
balance
going to come out.
I do, at the bare minimum, grabbing the reality gem for him seems sweet, right?
Yeah.
One threat, it ups he starts generating an additional power every round, and from there, he now, every time he rolls, 1 failure is a crit. So that improves his defensive capabilities, that improves his offensive, it improves his ability to deal with deadly meteors and scrolls and power core. And so I think at a core, in a lot of situations, I would like running him at 7 threat. I think he has got the defensive stats to support it, and with that gem, bumping that up a notch and giving him the ability to use some of his powers turn 1, I like it. I think reality gem would be one of my big ones where I'd be like, can I make this work? Is he 7 threat? Yeah, he's 7 threat.
Yeah, so reality gem was definitely the one that I gravitated to immediately because I started looking at scrolls and meteor and the power core, those types of, especially those 2 extracts where it's only a single extract and you're only rolling 2 dice. Well, now we've improved the chances of Thanos picking up that extract. And Thanos holding an extract is probably one of the best places you want him to be, especially considering you've now added the reality gem. And he's even harder to knock that gem off, to knock that mission off now. So Thanos standing there holding the scroll. Okay, I'm going to take the negatives for having the scroll. Okay, whatever. I can deal with it. Thanos is smack in the middle of the table. I'm good.
Yeah,
I am fine with this at this point now.
For sure. Okay, so I'm right there with you. But as we get into some of the other powers, I think we're going to bring up some of the gems. So I think we can go ahead and move on. So let's talk about his attacks for a minute, right?
Yeah.
So his base strike is, it's kind of Thor-esque, right? It's basically Thor's strike, which is solid. I mean, it's not, there's probably some people that were wishing that he had an even stronger strike, but this is close to as good as it gets. MODOK has a better, because it's range and he's generating a ton of power and it's got sap, but
yeah,
I'm not even sure MODOK should have that attack.
I'm happy with it.
How did you feel about
I think the strike is great. It's 6 dice. It's range 2, so it is kind of close. It's the basic strike where you gain, but man, that throw without a size restriction. Now, granted, we don't have any size 5 characters right now. Fingers crossed, Sentinels. Thank you, Jacob, for that. Little shout out there. But man, being able to get a wild throw and throw Hulk, throw MODOK, it not being size restricted is absolutely phenomenal. I love it so much.
I do have a secret hope that we one day get Giant Man size 5, but things. Okay, Cosmic Blast. So his spender is a 0 cost spender, range 3, power 5. When he's creating the dice pool for this attack, he can spend up to 3 and gain an additional die for each one spent. And then Titan's Will, if he gets a wild when the attack is resolved, he pushes the character away short, and they gain the slow special condition. So, first off, I like this because it gives him versatility with drop-off play, right? Because he can use Cosmic Blast or Strike, depending on what you want. He's got another push there, so you've got some versatility with, knocking people off the crisis. Something hit me today thinking about gems and Cosmic Blast. So I want to throw some Sriracha spicy tech out there.
Yes, here you go.
So I want you guys to think about the timing here. So if you put the Soul Gem on him, And so he gains 1 power whenever a superpower is used within range 4 of him. So say he's like, I'm going to Cosmic Blast Iron Man, right? We all want to see that happen, right? Blast Tony in the face. But Cap is like, no, man, bodyguard. So at that point, Thanos gains a power. Right?
Yeah.
Then,
which you can then immediately spend.
Then he's like, oh, I'm going to Vibranium Shield. Thanos is like, great, I'll get another power. And then the next step is building the dice pool. So you're like, thanks. Yeah. You used Vibranium Shield and Bodyguard. I literally get to increase the power of my attack by 2 when you gained 2 defensive dice.
Yeah. Right? Oh, that's nice.
That's the order that these things result in.
Nice.
Cosmic Blast is not declare it and choose how much you spend. It is when you are creating the dice pool. So that you get super tactical with Thanos in how you want to Cosmic Blast someone. I think that's super interesting. So for people who are excited about the Soul Gem on him, I think that sort of play gets really, really interesting. Yes. Especially if you know that you are about to drop Thanos into an Avengers matchup. I think having access to the Soul Gem makes that really interesting. So
yeah, there's going to be a bunch of reactive powers floating around there. So that makes perfect sense. I like that. I like that a lot.
So I like his attacks, right? We got super core, like no fluff, no filler, just 2 solid attack options. So I'm on board there. Man, Cosmic Portal. Is the most important part of this card. Choose another allied character within, or sorry, not an allied character. I know that. Yeah. I almost added that word myself. Choose another character within range 4 of this character. Place the chosen character within range 2 of its current position. A character can be placed by this superpower only once per turn. Cost 2. So, friendly and enemy can use multiple times per turn.
Yeah.
10 power Thanos can literally move your entire team off the crisis at the end of the round. 5 characters. He's just like, boop, 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 motherfuckers, get off my crisis. Like, you're all off of it.
Yep.
That in itself is a lot to take in. Like, that changes the way you even look at the average crisis. Like, Gamma Wave, like, against Thanos? What? I can barely come up with words, right? Like, there's so much thought into how you were going to have to deal with Thanos, because you're like, well, do I try to daze him before his activation, but then he's going to have all of the power to move everyone? What do I do?
Yep, and you can even do crazy stuff like strike, get a wild for the throw, strike again, get a wild for another throw, and then because it's range 4, you might be close enough to hit another extract, move someone off, another secure, move someone off of that secure. I mean, like you said, with gamma shelters, if Thanos is in the middle of the gamma shelter, the middle point of the gamma shelters, he can affect the other 2. Just him standing there will affect the other 2, and he's moving people around. Like, you are going to have such a hard time sitting on a point when Thanos is on the table across from you.
And I think it does naturally potentially make him the sort of character that can, like, he's really versatile in the sense of he could go early to, like, set up characters like Corvus or Proxima or whoever, Killmonger, all of your, like, damage dealers. Yeah. Like, he can go first and, like, I'm going to move this guy forward and start setting people up for these great plays. Or he can hang back and just be ready to, like, nope. I'm Thanos. I'm scoring the points. Get out of here. And at the same time, he could still like, oh, well, you pushed my character off of it. Well, but now I'm just going to like put them back. Right. Like, I'm going to move your guys away, put mine back. It's some craziness. So this made me think when I started thinking about this power, I think there's going to be a lot of time where I am willing to bump Thanos to 8 threat, give him the power gem and the mind gem. So on turn 1, I can double move if I want to, and I can Cosmic Portal 2 people away, because I'll have 4 power, because I get 2 from the power gem, 1 normally, and 1 from the mind gem. So I'm at 4 power, so I can double Cosmic Portal, and I have a free Mind Stone, so I can turn 1, like round 1, whenever I want to, I will just move 3 characters off the crisis. That in itself totally changes the way that we have to think about, say, 15 threat, right? Because even there, you've got, that's 8 threat Thanos. You can stick him into basically any affiliation. He can't go into Asgard, right? Because you can't do 8 threat Thanos, Thor, and Valkyrie. But you could absolutely do Zemo and Red Skull. You could absolutely do, you know, Captain America and Hawkeye, or Agent Widow, or, you know, you got options, right? Iron Man. And you could absolutely do Black Panther and Shuri and Thanos with the Mind Stone and the Power Stone.
And basically, you just start that game and say, where you think your model ends is not where the model will be, because I'm going to move it somewhere. Like, if you want to talk about how annoying Wakanda Wave is, this is now something completely different. This is Wakanda Wave on an entirely new level now.
This is, I am going to move your models more than you get to move your models, right?
Yeah.
I will spend more time moving your models than I spend moving mine, or you spend moving yours. It's going to be hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
So, man, Cosmic Portal. But it's important to mention, he loses Cosmic Portal if he gets dazed, or if he actually moves to his injured side. And so there's a big part of me that's going, I'm going to play Thanos, and I'm going to play field dressing, patch up, and med pack. And you are not going to do what you think you want to do to Thanos.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, of the list that we've just described, the Black Panther, Shuri, Thanos, with those 3, oh my god. Oh, that is...
And Wakanda Forever, and Vibranium Shielding, stacks with being of immeasurable power.
Yep, so now we're reducing it by 2. Like, you're not taking Thanos off the table. You're not dating Thanos. Just isn't happening.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the thing, is like, as soon as this character drops, like, it's, oh my god. 100%, one release just twisted the meta around so much.
And we have another power. We have another power. We're not more. I would probably have been okay with him at 6 threat, like this, right? Like, this is solid. Then we get Death's Decree, right? So it's practically a leadership in itself, but it's not.
Yeah.
And whenever another allied character within range 4 of him targets an enemy character with an attack, costs 2 power, he gives the character 2 additional dice on that attack. Or, if they're on their injured side, they get 4 dice. So this, I mean, think about Thanos as an Avenger, right? Where this is every turn, so this means he could do this for every single one of his other characters' turns. So maybe in a higher threat game, you have something where Thanos is planning to give every single other character an attack. So suddenly you have Iron Man repulsor blasting for 6, and then Friday AIing it up to 8.
Yeah.
Right? You can have Captain Marvel going from 4 dice, reroll as many as you want, to 6, and then binary forming it up to 8. Or if she's on her injured side, God forbid, 10 dice, reroll as many as you want.
Even just like thinking about it on Vision. I mean, so it's each individual attack will happen. So generally with a beam, you're going to pick which one you attack first. So you do that on Vision, you make the first one better, hoping to get more sap powers off on that beam to power up Vision so that Vision can do throws and stuff like that. Like, just that combination there where you're fishing for additional wiles to sap power to power up Vision so that Vision can then throw people around is ridiculous. Or even on MODOK with MODOK's, like, basic attack.
Yeah, and you got Black Panther can mantle the Black Panther and then get 7 dice on his first strike, right? That's huge. You're already re-rolling as much as you want. That's fantastic. Like, there's a whole slew of characters. Hawkeye, you're like, I'll just hook arrow forwards, and then turn 1, Thanos is like, hey, buddy, have 7 dice on that arrow. there is a ton of characters that just will love this. And so this to me says the ability for you to make teams that are actually designed to daze and KO characters as a priority has now become a thing.
Yes.
With zero testing,
Yeah.
I'm just going to say now the reality of a Thanos team going, I am going to daze or KO most, if not all, of your team over the course of this game if we get the right crisis combination.
Yeah, I'm even thinking like Thanos with power and mind, and then, or power and reality, and then Corvus and Proxima.
Yeah. Okay, so he keeps Death Decree on the injured side. We
No
got to
change to the rule.
Yeah. Obviously he can take any of the gems and he's got immunity to stun. So that's all fantastic. Let's talk briefly about his affiliation leadership. So, on the healthy side, when an enemy character is KO'd, not dazed, just KO'd, the controlling player scores 1 VP. So that is immediate. So that can you could potentially end a game. Like if you're at 15, you KO someone, boom, game's over.
Yeah.
So that in itself, that's interesting. It's not the craziest leadership, but then when you're thinking about on the flip side, it changes. And so he's got a different leadership when he's injured. And then what he does is during the modified dice step, an allied character may suffer up to 3 damage, and for each damage they suffer, they may re-roll one of their attack dice. And if they daze themselves or KO themselves during the attack is just over.
Yeah.
So that's Black Order. So now we're thinking about the fact that you want to KO people while he's healthy. You can teleport your characters around. You can teleport enemies towards Corvus and Proxima. And then you can give them additional dice. So Thanos is sitting back and being like, I'm going to control who's where, and I'm going to spend my power fueling up Corvus and Proxima. So now their 5 dice strikes with, wilds for Pierce, they're starting to wreck people. Just wreck.
Yeah.
And it cranks the, Glaive's Edge costing 3 now kind of makes sense, because you're like, well, if he's getting 7 dice strikes, he's going to pay for Glaive's Edge.
Yeah.
So, man, so right now I think kind of my final kind of wrap up thought for this is Thanos just doubled the amount of affiliations that there are. And what I mean by that is that Avengers as a roster, you build an Avengers roster, we kind of know what it does. I've released some episodes and it's going, okay, this is what the roster does. This is the sort of things that an Avengers roster is strong at. But Avengers with Thanos is a totally different roster, right?
Yes.
You can't splash him gems in. He takes potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 slots. And he's going to drastically change which sort of characters you want with him. And he can turn an Avengers team into a KOing team where you're like, I'm running all the 3-threat murder bots, Iron Man and Hawkeye and Agent Widow. And, let's not even talk about Core Widow suddenly being able to actually stagger people with her Spectre attack, right? When she gets plus 4 dice. What he does to Nebula is just what that 2-threat character is going to be able to do with additional attack dice. I'm not sure I want to think about. But my point is that there is now Avengers and there's Thanos Avengers. And there is Wakanda and there is Thanos Wakanda. And they're practically totally different affiliations because what you are going to want to do if you're involving Thanos is going to change the dynamics of it, and it is going to totally change what your opponent wants to play against you, right? There's no, I just don't think there's any other way to look at it. Do you think I'm way off base here?
No, not at all. And it makes the roster building very interesting because you can very conceivably build 2 very good affiliation squads into a single roster that do 2 completely different things. Just taking the Wakanda and Avengers example. Your Avengers squad is going to be your KO focus. your Wakanda squad is your scenario focus, and you can fit all of that plus a couple gems in a single roster. So now your opponent has no clue what you're going to be dropping on the table against.
Yeah, I think Guardians is probably the one affiliation that, because they may already want to run the Power Stone, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could potentially, Thanos could get squeezed in for just like Thanos and Mind Gem. And so if you have a Guardians roster that can squeeze in Thanos, that's probably the one spot where you're like, am I facing like, and then that's scary to me right now, where I'm just thinking about, they've got Thanos. Am I going to be facing off against like Star-Lord, Drax, Thanos? Or am I facing off against Star-Lord, Drax, Ronan, Shuri, Valkyrie, right? Like,
yeah.
am I being overwhelmed, or am I being overwhelmed?
Right. Yeah.
And so that's going to be really interesting. But man, Thanos, the Mad Titan, I have a feeling we're going to play this guy a lot. And for everyone,
absolutely.
For everyone who looked at him and I think was underwhelmed, I have a feeling. I'm not saying that he's the most powerful character in the game, and I'm not even saying that one of these teams that we're talking about is going to be the most powerful team in the game, but I think they're all relevant, and they're all going to potentially give you a bad or an advantageous matchup, depending on how well you're prepared for it. And that is what I think is really interesting. He changes the dynamic of all of the affiliations, and he's like a second leader, right? He's like a second leader that you can stick into any one of your teams. And you could put him in and go, I don't care about Death's Decree. I am just going to put him in to Cosmic Portal all over the place. But you might have a team that's going to barely ever Cosmic Portal, and he's going to Death's Decree all over the place. And he's still extremely durable, a solid, offensive piece. He's Thanos.
Yep. Absolutely love him. This was a character I was most excited for since the beginning of the game. I am super pumped. I'm so happy. And I'm coining it now. Thanos in Wakanda is not Wakanda wave, it's Thanos wave. I'm saying it now, Jacob.
I don't know, we call it the Mad Wave? Mad Titan Wave? I don't know yet.
Well, Thanos wave.
But I don't know, it might have. Does he want to play in herbs? I don't know. We're getting down into like the tangential hole of all of it.
Thanos.
There's so much Thanos to think about.
Yeah.
So before this gets crazy long, to everyone who's watching the Omnis Protocol channel, I appreciate all of you. We're like, I think at the point I'm releasing this, I'm at like 98 subscribers. So maybe Thanos pushes me to 100. Yeah.
That is awesome.
I'm going to end this Thanos vision, this Thanos cosmic portal into our future, and just say, if you've been watching Omnis Protocol, being OP, it's inevitable.